कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु जीवे दया गौरी स्वपद प्रिय धमा सह अवतारी अत्यंत दुर्लभ प्रेमा कोरे बलिदाना शिकाया शरणागति भगतेरा प्राणा नैया आत्मानि वेदना गोप्ते वरणा अवश्य रक्षे कृष्ण विश्वास पालन अवश्य रक्षे कृष्ण विश्वास पालन भक्ति अनुकूल मात्रा कार्य रसिकरा भक्ति प्रतिकूल भवा वजनांगीकारा भक्ति प्रतिकूल भवा वजनांगीकारा षडंग शरणागति होली बेटहरा सहरा प्रधान तुने श्रीनंद कुमार सहरा प्रधान तुने श्रीनंद कुमार रूप सनातन पदे दंते तृणा तोरी भक्ति विनोद पदे दुहा दुहा पद को डोरी भक्ति विनोद पदे दुहम पद डोरी चंद्रिया चंद्रिया बोले आमी तो आत्मा चंद्रिया चंद्रिया बोले आमी तो आत्मा शिखाया शरणागति कोरो है भूता मदति शिखाया शरणागति कोरो है भूता श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु जीवे दोया कोरी स्वपद प्रिय धमा अवतारी श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय करो हरि बोल जय श्री राधा मदन मोहन
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप तदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रतां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। अष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नायिष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रये नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गोरतिसे नमः। नमो ब्रह्मण्याय देवाय गोब्राह्मणहिताय च जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी हस्त्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं भङ्गं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं श्रीकृष्णेश्वरम्। पवित्रो पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थं गतोऽपि वा यस्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्ष सा बाह्य भवेन्द्रं शुचि श्री विष्णु श्री। It is said in Narada Pancharatra, Tadinam Durdinam, Durdinam Manye, Megachanam na Durdinam, Yad Dinam Krishna Samlapa Kata Piyusha Varjit. Piyusha. It is said, this I have heard many times from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, quoting from Narada Pancharatra. It is said, the meaning is, a cloudy day is not so inauspicious, but a day devoid of Krishna Katha is certainly inauspicious. Generally, there are many times where in our life we have cloudy days, where we have bad days. So those days are not inauspicious. But a day without Krishna Katha is really the inauspicious time. So we are fortunate to have this association wherein we are discussing the Krishna Katha. So Krishna is so merciful. So what did the animals do to get the human body? What tapasya? What works did animals do to get this human form? Generally, it is naturally the Krishna's mercy. What did the pious activity like an animal like me has done? I'm not a qualified person, but it is because of the Krishna's mercy and the devotee's mercy. You have made me sit here and made me discussing Krishna Katha. This is entirely because of the Krishna Katha. So Krishna's mercy. So what more can we ask from Krishna? He has given the human form, the rarely achieved human form, and mostly there are many people who got the human form, but they don't have the association. This is the greatest gift which Krishna has given to us. So we should treasure this greatest moment. we have seen, we have gone to Tirupati. So you have seen the general queue and VIP line, where when VIP comes, they get the direct access to the inner shrine of the Lord Venkateshwara. So this body is like the VIP line. This human body is like a VIP line. We are given a special access where not every body gets it. So we have to make use of this human body to the best possible for Krishna's service. It's only because of the association here. Thanks to Lilananda Prabhu, thanks to Praveen Prabhu, and all the senior devotees who are encouraging to conduct these sessions, who are encouraging these sessions. So with this, I would like to start this session today. So in this attempt, if there is any mistake which I have done, please forgive me. I hope you can see the screen, Prabhu. For this.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So today we will be discussing the 7th chapter of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the son of Drona punished. So, as we all know, the Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. It is Swayam Krishna in the Granth Avatar. Each and every word of Srimad Bhagavatam is part and parcels of the Krishna. Same part and parcel of Bhagavatam, part and parcel of Krishna. So each and every word of Bhagavatam has the same potency as the Krishna. But in the interest of our time, so we will go through the overview of this entire chapter. So I recommend you to go and deep into the purpose. So I will be sticking to the purpose of Srila Prabhupada. Some places I will add other information from the various acharyas and various brahmacharis whom I have heard in this while reading this chapter. So in the earlier session, we have seen that chapter 6, where till chapter 6 we have seen that Vyasadeva was despondent and he got the association of his Guru Maharaj Narad Muni. So in one sense, we can see this is the effect of good association, sadhu sangha. So what does the sadhu sangha do? Vyasadeva, being despondent, was enthusiastic, and he has written the Srimad Bhagavatam again. So that is the glories of good association. But here also we can see the son of Drona punished. Who is son of Drona? Is Swadhama, the son of great Acharya Drona. But he has a bad association. So he fall prey for the bad association. What bad association he has? He is associated with Duryodhana, who is very envious of the Pandavas, who is envious of the devotees. Second, he is associated with his mind. He has so many desires to conquer the kingdom, though being a Brahmana. So he is associated with his mind. So this is the power of association. We can see in these two chapters what an association can do. So we also be careful whom we are associating with. We should associate with the devotees, not people who are envious of the devotees. So with this introduction, we'll start the first sloka. So here there are so many sections. So each section, we'll discuss each section one by one. Slokas 1 and 1 to 5 define what vision Vyasadeva has seen. What is the vision of Vyasadeva? Saunakam nirgate narade sutha Bhagavan Vadarayana Srutavamstat avipretam tata kim akarod vibhuhu. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Rishi Shaunaka said, O Suta, the great and transcendently powerful Vyasadeva had everything from Narada Muni. So after Narada's departure, what did Vyasadeva do? So earlier, we have heard about how Vyasadeva and Narada were interacting. So Narada describes about his appearance, and also he gives the Bhagavatam to Chatushloki Bhagavatam to Vyasadeva. So here, Saunakadi Rishis, they are taking a lead to the appearance of Parikshit. So here the speaker is Parikshit. So they are taking the conversation forward to how Parikshit Maharaj was saved in the womb. Before commencing the great epic Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Vyasadeva realized the whole truth by trance in devotion. So after Narada departed, he contemplated. Vyasadeva contemplated on the instructions of Narada. So whenever a senior devotee or acharyas they give instructions, the devotees they have to contemplate what is the meaning of behind it, what action should be done. So similarly, Vyasadeva was contemplating on the instructions of Guru Maharaj. Sutam vacha brahmanada nadyam saraswatyam ashrama paschime tate samyafrasha iti prokta rushinam satra vardhana. Sri Suta said, on the western bank of the river Saraswati, which is intimately related to Vedas, there is a cottage for meditation, the Samyak Prasha, which enlivens the transcendental activities of the sages. So it is said, for every spiritual advancement, we require suitable place. Of course, but to perform the spiritual advance, there is no actual qualifications, anything. But to progress, we require a suitable place and atmosphere. So that's why it said, chanting of the holy names doesn't have any qualification, whether we are a Brahmana, Kshatriya, whatever, male, female, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where we do. The holy names are always pure. But to have a quick progress, we should chant early in the morning in the Brahma Muhurta. That is the most suitable time where we don't have any other deviations, where entire world is sleeping. We have full concentration on the holy names. All the spiritual activities are done during that time. So yes, there are certain places and atmospheres that should be conducive when we are doing any of our spiritual, whether we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam or whatever we are doing. So ensure that we have the sufficient atmosphere with us. So when the home is full of noisy environment, where can we concentrate? So for every activity, there is a proper time and place. So it's also said, ashrama is a place where spiritual culture is always the foremost. So ashrama is not a cottage. Generally, outside people think ashrama is a cottage which is outside in some jungle areas. So ashrama is not a place of cottage. Ashrama, A plus Shrama. Shrama means work. A means Vishnu. Ashrama is a place where the work for Krishna or Vishnu is happening. It doesn't matter whether it is a householder or a brahmachari or a sannyasi. So we have 4 ashramas: brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasi. All should work for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Then only it is an ashrama. Otherwise, not an ashrama. It's Grihamedi. It's a burden of the society. So the central point of all these 4 is performing activities for the welfare for the happiness of Krishna. So all 4 are equal. So one is not the higher or than the other. So once there was, I think it was early days of Chaupati. So where the brahmacharis and grihasthas were there. So there was building up. So brahmacharis were seeing the grihasthas and saying, these are they are not dedicating this their life for Krishna. And see, we are staying in this temple and we are dedicating to our activities for Krishna. In the same way, Grihasthas were thinking, they have left brahmacharis, they have left everything, the relationships, everything. They should also value the relationships, something like that. So they were, it was going in a different line. They are thinking that we are Grihasthas are great, brahmacharis are great. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he took a session independently to Brahmacharya Ashram and Grihastha Ashram. For a Brahmacharya Ashram, he took the glories of Grihastha Ashram. For Grihasthas, he took glories of Brahmacharya Ashram. So Grihasthas are risking their life going out and working for money. It's a risky environment, but money should be earned for the maintenance of the temples. Similarly, brahmacharis, they are dedicating their life, they are giving heart and soul for the service of Krishna. So independently, they have understand Grihastha and brahmachari are both equal. They are both glorious in their own ways. So one is not superior than the other, or one is not less than the other. So the difference is a matter of formality on the strength of renunciation. How much renunciation we have. That is only the difference. Otherwise, there is no difference. Practically, everyone is the same. In that place, Srila Vyasadeva, in his own ashrama, which was surrounded by berry trees, sat down to meditate after touching water for purification. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite male apashyat purusham purna mayam cha tat apashrayam. Thus, he fixed his mind perfectly engaged in it by linking in devotional service or bhakti yoga without any tinge of materialism. And thus, he absolutely saw the absolute personality of Godhead along with his external energy, which was under his full control. This is what Vyasadeva has seen. Why did Vyasadeva got this vision? First is he is free from material contamination. Second, he has engaged his mind in the devotional service. So this is what we all should learn. We should be free from the material entanglements, and we should engage our mind in the service of Krishna. That's what he is saying. He has seen the Supreme Personality of Godhead along with his Maya Shakti. So this is what we can say. Perfect vision of the absolute truth is possible only by linking process of the devotional service. Bhaktya mam abhijananti mamura. Otherwise, what we'll see? We'll see Krishna as a ordinary human being. So there are different levels of vision. One sees as Brahman. I am a part of Brahman, Parabrahman. This is what some people say. And the other is Paramatman feature. So when we go ahead, it is Bhagwan feature. When we realize this Bhagwan feature, then we can enter the kingdom of God. Till then, the Brahman feature and Paramatman feature, they are imperfect or incomplete. So if you know that Brahman and Paramatma, yes, there are same Supreme Personality of Godhead, but that is not complete. You have to realize the Supreme Brahman, Bhagavan. And only we can enter the kingdom of God. The absolute vision is the personality of Godhead as it is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Vasudevam Sarvamiti. He said Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Vasudevam is a whole and soul. So when one is under the shelter of the internal potency, the darkness of material ignorance is once. So only the knowledge can disappear ignorance. So which knowledge is a transcendental knowledge? This transcendental knowledge comes from the internal potency of the Lord. Devotional service or bhakti yoga is that function of the internal life. Bhakti yoga is not external. It is the internal potency of the Lord, the Ladini Shakti. Srimad Radharani is who is giving the strength for bhakti. So when we are in the devotional service, there is no place for inferior energy. Maya cannot compare. Then automatically spiritual effulgence starts. Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of the material nature, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reactions of the material mysteries. Now Vyasadeva is seeing what problems we are facing. It's clearly seen here. People think that nobody is watching me or I'm suffering alone. No, Vyasadeva has seen all the problems which we are going to face, especially in the Kali Yuga. So what are the reasons? What is the root cause? First, we have to analyze the root cause. We are imprisoned by external energy. We are bound by Maya Shakti. We think that we are the great material products. What is the meaning of thinking that we are the material products? We think that we are this body. We don't think that we are the soul. We day in day out we hear that we are the souls, not the body. But when the class is over, we think that we are the bodies, and we act according to the bodies. That is the root cause. Pure spiritual entity suffers material miseries under the three modes because we are trying to enjoy the association of the three modes. Accordingly, we are seeing good and bad. Actual knowledge of conditioned soul is now covered. We are all part and parcels of Krishna. Each and every soul is a part and a parcel of Krishna. Each and every soul is such it ananda, is always blissful, chit. But presently, because of this material concept of life, Prabhupada says, we are in the material conception of life. We are not in the material life. Our conception is material. When we spiritualize our conception, then everything becomes spiritualized. This is called spirituality. We use everything. We don't renunciate anything, all the material elements, but we engage them in the service of Krishna, then it becomes a spiritual. So it's our consciousness. So here you can see, Vyasadeva says, sorry, Sutugmashi says, we think of himself. So thinking is an act of a person. We all have thinking, right? We have mind, we think, feel, and will. We all have a body, we all have a form. So similarly, we are not this body, we are the soul. It's a soul which is thinking that it is the body. So it is a refutation that we are impersonal. It is not accepted here. We have personal things, we have personal ways. So this is what Vyasadeva said, this is a problem. So we are mischievous. So what does a parent do with that mischievous child? So parent handovers to a tough person, like a teacher, so that he or she can correct his child. We are not listening to our parents. So we listen to our teachers generally. So the teacher should be hard. Such a teacher is Maya Devi, external energy. Krishna has entrusted this activity to Maya Devi so that we may learn. Children kept under the custody of a severe man so that we learn. King puts disobedient citizens behind the bars. We have so many prisons. Government doesn't want us to be in prison, but to make us learn, we are put into bars. Then Krishna does that. But Krishna is so merciful that he time and again he comes to see us. So the point Krishna is giving us the human body is the fact that Krishna is missing us. Otherwise, we would have been any animal because he is missing our service, because he is missing our association. He is giving us a chance in this human body so that we can reach him. Very fact that this is it. That's why Krishna personally comes and he sends his representative as well. So Prabhupada mentions that the remedial measure is the process of surrender. Sarva dharman parisyaja mamekam saranam. So how does this surrender happens? First, it starts with the speeches. When we hear from the saintly people. So like Vyasadeva heard from his Guru Maharaj Narad Muni. So then we get the taste. Initially, we don't get a taste for hearing, but repeated hearing from the senior devotees, acharyas, will get a taste for hearing about the Lord. Then we start respecting devotion and attachment to the Lord starts. This is the process for starting out the process of surrender. So Krishna is giving a way. Sorry, he's doing so many things for all of us. Personally, he has entrusted to the and Maya Devi. She is giving punishments so that we can understand this place is not a place for us to stay. This is Dukhalayam Ashasasam. Everything here is miserable. So she is teaching this material conception of life is very dangerous. So this is one way of teaching. One way of teaching. Second, today he comes as a spiritual master. Spiritual master is a representative of Krishna. So in two forms, he is Paramatma within and telling us, don't do this, chant your rounds, read Bhagavatam, associate with the devotees. This is what from the Paramatma inside he is saying. Externally, he comes as scriptures, sadhus, acharyas. So how much Krishna can do for all of us? What more we can expect from Krishna? He has given he has given the holy name. He has given the Bhagavatam. He has given the association. So it is up to us to treasure it. The only thing left is our responsibility. We have to be responsible to become Krishna conscious. So this is the position. So a position of illusionary energy. Nobody can approach Krishna directly. Even the Maya Devi cannot approach. So it is clearly mentioned, clearly indication that Lord cannot be overpowered by illusion, Maya. So Mayavadi philosophy, you all know. So Maya covers the Supreme Lord. No. It's clearly mentioned here is an external energy of the Krishnas. Srimad Bhagavatam is a summon boredom remedy for suffering. The solution for all of our sufferings is Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is our responsibility to revive our natural love for Krishna. So Krishna is always loving us, but it is our responsibility to reciprocate it. In the next two slokas, 6 and 7, it is effects of Bhakti Yoga and effect of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned. Anartopashamam sakshat Bhakti Yogam adokhade lokasya janta vidvans chakre satvada samhitam. The material miseries of the living entity which are superfluous to him can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this. Therefore, the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, which is in relation to the Supreme Lord. Here, the glory of the Bhakti Yoga is mentioned. So, Vyasadeva has seen the different energies, the parts and parcels, plenary portions, Vishnu, etc. Everything he has seen. He has also observed the miseries, what we are facing. Then he has given the process of devotional service, which starts with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. So we have dormant love for Krishna. But it starts with Shravanam, Kirtan. But it is not a mechanical process. Our chanting box is also doing the same Hare Krishna mantra. Will it go back to Godhead? No. We are all conscious beings. So it should not be a mechanical chanting, mechanical hearing, mechanical activities. It should come from within. That is also Krishna's mercy. We should beg to Krishna that love for you should be evoked. By hearing this process, let my love come to you. It should not be any mechanical. But however it may be, whether we are doing it mechanical or with love, it mitigates our material miseries. The day we have started chanting, our material miseries are no longer existing. In this seventh sloka, the effect of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned. Simply by oral reception of this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. So, what does it do? It extinguishes the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearlessness. So, here, Prabhupada So here Suta Maharshi is indicating the power of hearing, the Shravanam. The This is the most important element, hearing. We should regularly hear. So that when a person dies, last thing which shuts down is our ears. So we all rely on eyes, but we should all rely on the ears. So these are the symptoms of our disease. Full of lamentation. We are always lamenting. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't deserve this. We always lament. We are always after for something material, illusory things. It's a mirage. All our endeavors in this material life is like a search for the mirage. Water in the desert is a mirage. Not going to come. Happiness in this material world is like a mirage. And we are always fearful, like a tree, like a deer or a squirrel. If you see, though it is eating, it is always seeing outside. Some tiger may pounce upon it. It's always fearful. Similarly, like a deer, we are all powerful, fearful. Death may come sometime. Knowingly or unknowingly, we are fearful of that. So what happens after hearing Srimad Bhagavatam? So in Srimad Bhagavatam 285, Pravishta Karna Randrena Swanam Pava Saroruham Dunoti Samalam Krishna Salilasya Yatasara Pravishta Karna Randrena Krishna, by transcendental vibration of the sound, enters into our ears, sits under the lotus of our heart, and he starts cleaning the material contaminations within. He evokes the love for him. That's what Krishna is doing. Only thing we have to do is we have to allow Krishna inside. We have to allow Bhagavatam to enter. What this Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from the Lord. The activities mentioned inside the Bhagavatam are not different from the Lord. Immediate contact by him with him by the process of vibration of transcendental sound. Loving devotional service begins. The same thing we had in 285 says. We have to automatically, what happens when we go on reading Bhagavatam, page by page, become a sage. Prabhupada says. So our attachment for Krishna starts increasing. And the real peace starts. Politicians are trying for real peace, but it does not happening because there is no Krishna in it. Anything devoid of Krishna is a waste of time. It's all inauspicious. When we give Bhagavatam, when we read Bhagavatam, when we speak Bhagavatam, the real peace starts in the material, in the world. This is what the result of devotional service is. Prema Bhakti. We get the loving. The love means we see as love between a man and a woman. But the whole, in this entire creation, only one Purusha is Krishna. He is the only Purusha. Rest are all the Prakriti or the female aspect. So you can also see that man and female relationship, transcendental loving relationship. So the practical test for one who has actually given the submissive hearing. So what is the test? We have to see. There is a litmus test. So what is the test for when other hearing Srimad Bhagavatam or not? We are situated above the material miseries. Material miseries no longer affect us. Like Prahlad Maharaj. Nothing could affect him. We are free from illusion and we are free from fearful. So that is what our test. So in the next three slokas, Vyasadeva, the first student of Bhagavatam is Sukadeva Goswami. So Suta Maharshi is explaining that Vyasadeva has taught this Bhagavatam first to Sukadeva Goswami. The great sage Vyasadeva, after compiling the Srimad Bhagavatam and revising it, taught it to his own son, Sri Sukadeva Goswami, who was already engaged in it. So it is already, Vyasadeva has already written the Srimad Bhagavatam, but he was not satisfied. Then he got association with the Narada. Narada has given the Chatusloki Bhagavatam. Based on the Chatusloki Bhagavatam, he has revised the Bhagavatam. which we are seeing is the revised version of the Bhagavatam. So this is a natural commentary which we all know the history of this. After that, this was given to Sukadeva Goswami. So it's a science for following the Nivritti Marga. The theme of Srimad Bhagavatam is the cure of materialized disease. The purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam is to cure all our diseases and stop completely the kinds of material existence. So Saunaka asked Suta Goswami, Sri Sukadeva Goswami was already on the path of self-realization, and thus he was pleased with his own self. So why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of the Vedic literature? So it is indirectly asking, we are doing bhakti, we are chanting our rounds. The purpose of Bhagavatam is to chant Harinama, Harinama, Harinama Kevalam. So we are doing 16 rounds. We are associating. So what is the use of reading this Srimad Bhagavatam? What is the use of hearing Bhagavatam? So we are all also on the path of self-realization. But Sukadeva Goswami is already a self-realized person. So what is the use for him to read? So Atma Rama it is mentioned. Self-pleasure. So every one of us are seeking certain pleasure. It's the same pleasure which we see, which we had in the science of self-realization first class. Every soul is looking after the pleasure, but in its own way. My way of pleasure is different. Other way of pleasure, other soul's pleasure is different. But this self-realized person's and enjoyment is altogether different. We cannot understand what from how they are getting enjoyment. They get enjoyment from reading. So, Parasparam Bhagavayanti. What does a devotee do? They discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear to the devotees. So, it is even as Srimad Bhagavatam is a postgrad certificate even to Atma Ramas, the self-realized person. So, every one of us should study Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Goswami said, all different varieties of Atma Ramas, those who take pleasure in the Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self-realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, they to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract anyone, everyone, including the living. So it's a long purport. Each and every word is the factor Atmarama, Muniya, Nirganta, Apicha, Urukrama is completely analyzed. I request you to go through this entire purport, but we focus on the Bhakti aspect. Bhakti means unalloyed devotional service. It's unalloyed. There is no mixture. Pure Bhakti. It has 81 qualities. So we do Bhakti here, this material field. So there are 81 qualities of this Bhakti, out of which sadhana bhakti is considered the highest, which ultimately matures to loving devotional service to Supreme Lord. The sadhana bhakti which we are doing is the highest quality of a bhakti in this material world. So, Yettam Bhuta Guna, complete bliss. Brahma means complete bliss. Paramatma means it's a small water. So, small cup of water will not give you thirst. An ocean of water satisfies the thirst. So Paramatma feature is like that. It's a small water and personal form is the supreme water. So no one wants to exchange them for the material enjoyment. Peak powers. So trade off, you cannot trade. Like Prahlad Maharaj with Narsimhadev. Listen, are you trading bhakti with this normal material things? So devotee is not ready to trade off this one. Outside we see so many people are not coming into bhakti. Or those who are devotees are not, we are not fixed. Why is happening? Because we do not know the value of the bhakti. If you have Kohinoor diamond, how valuable it is. Know the value of the Kohinoor diamond, you protect it, you treasure it. Similarly, if you know the glories of the Bhagavatam and Bhakti, we treasure it and we follow it. So, by interpreting each and every word of this sloka, one can see unlimited transcendental quality. And ultimately, Prabhupada is explaining the ultimate unlimited transcendental qualities of Krishna, which attract the minds of a pure devotees. The next few slokas discuss about heart and soul of great devotees. So what is there inside the heart of a devotee? The life and soul of a devotee. Srila Sukadeva Goswami, son of Sri Vyasadeva, was not only transcendently powerful, he was also very dear to the devotees of the Lord. Thus he underwent the study of the great narration, Srimad Bhagavatam. By the association of the pure devotees like Vyasadeva, even liberated souls become attracted. So initially, though Sukadeva Goswami was liberated soul, he was impersonalist. He was impersonal Brahman. When he heard Bhagavatam from Vyasadeva, he was attracted by the qualities. Just like we know about Sanat Kumaras, they are also impersonalists before, but by the fragrance of the Tulsi from the lotus feet of the Vishnu, they became pure devotees. This is the glory. The transcendental qualities of the Lord are so attractive that Sukadeva Goswami became detached from being completely absorbed in the impersonal Brahman and personal activity. So, by reading Bhagavatam, we get personal association with devotees and Krishna. So, Vishnu Janas are dear to him and he is dear to Vishnu Janas. The question as to how Sukadeva Goswami was attracted. Now, question arises, how he is attracted? Sutta Goswami thus addressed the rishis headed by Shaunaka. Now I shall begin the transcendental narration of the Lord Sri Krishna and topics of the birth, activities, and deliverance of the Parikshit, sage among us the kings, as well as the topics of the renunciation of the worldly order by the sons of the Pandav. As he said, Yat dinam Krishna samlapa kata piyusha varjit. A day without Krishna is inauspicious. A literature without Krishna is inauspicious. An activity without Krishna is inauspicious. That's why Vyasadeva was despondent. Though he mentioned somewhere about Krishna, he did not mention Krishna in detail. So that's why he was not satisfied. Then he wrote Bhagavatam. So that's why without Krishna, all supplementary literature like Puranas, Mahabharata are simply as stories. Simply as stories or historical. There's nothing to do with it. But when we add Krishna, it becomes Bhagavatam. And there is a special significance of this Purana. These activities of Lord are central. You can see everything is on the center, centering around Krishna and his devotees. So the devotees, the paraphernalia of Krishna is same Krishna. It is not only the book Bhagavatam, the personal Bhagavatam, that paraphernalia, all the activities discussing about them is also discussing Krishna Katha. The devotees of the Lord are interlinked and they cannot be separated. Therefore, talks about Krishna Katha, the talks about them are also Krishna Katha. And this is why the rishis are asking about the birth of the Parikshit. We have seen about the birth of the Narada. Now, in the future chapters, we'll see how Parikshit Maharaj and activities are going on. So, when the respective warriors of the both camps, namely the Kauravas and Pandavas, were killed on the battlefield of the Kurukshetra, and the dead warriors obtained their deserved destination, and the one son of Dhritarashtra fell down lamenting, his spine broken, being beaten by the club of Bhimasena, and the son of Dronacharya Rashadvama beheaded the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi and delivered the heads as a prize to his master, foolishly thinking that he would be pleased. Duryodhana, however, disapproved of his heinous act, and he was not pleased. So he was not pleased. Here the heinous act of Aswadhama was mentioned. Even Duryodhana, his master, did not approve this activity. So all these things are happening. So what Prabhupada says is in this purport, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted everyone to be informed of both the Krishna Kathas, Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants us to read both Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Not only that, we distribute Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. We encourage others to read, glorify Krishna to others. Lord Chaitanya desired that all who are born in India seriously understand such Krishna Katha, and then after full realization, preach the transcendental message to everyone in all parts of the world. This is what we have to see. This is what our vision of this Gaudiya Parampara is all about. Then only peace and prosperity comes in the world. In the next few slokas, we see the killing of the 5 sons of Draupadi. Draupadi, the mother of 5 children of the Pandavas, after hearing the massacre of her sons, began to cry with eyes full of tears. Trying to pacify her in her great loss, Arjuna spoke to her. So recently, I have seen a young couple losing their child. They had lost their young child and they were crying literally. They're pouring down. They're almost collapsed. In this material world, if we lose our children, we are we are feeling so much pain. What what pain would have Draupadi undergone when her 5 sons were brutally killed? Not normal death, because they were beheaded while they were sleeping. So how much pain that mother Draupadi would have undergone? So with that pain, she was crying literally. Oh, gentle lady, when I present you with the head of the Brahmana, after beheading him with the arrows from my Gandiva bow, I shall then wipe the tears of your eyes, pacify you. Then after burning your sons' bodies, you can take your path standing on his head. Just like Bhima. When Draupadi was insulted in the entire Rajya he took a vow that he will kill entire army and she can drink the blood of Duryodhan. So similarly, Arjuna is giving a vow here to Draupadi that he will kill the Brahmana. He knows Ashwadhama is a Brahmana. Brahmana should be protected. But here Arjuna has decided to kill an aggressor. So in Bhagavad Gita, we have seen who is an aggressor, who sets fire to the house, who kidnaps other women. We have seen all the qualities. Though being a Brahmana, whether it's a Brahmana, Kshatriya, whatever it may be, an aggressor should be punished in all circumstances. That is what injection of the Vedas is all about. And Arjuna is, on this point, is saying that he will kill the son of a. So since Ashwadhama acted like a butcher, so he is no less than an animal. Arjuna, who is guided by the infallible Lord as friend and driver, thus satisfied the dear lady by such statements. Then he dressed in armor and armed himself with furious weapons, and getting into his chariot, he set out to follow Ashwadhama, the son of his martial teacher. Ashwadhama, the murderer of the princess, seeing from a great distance Arjuna coming at him with great speed, fled in his chariot, panic stricken, just to save his life, as Brahma fled in fear from Shiva. So here you can see in the last, Rudra Bayat Yata Kha. So Prabhupada explains that the Kha can be said Kha or Arkha. You can split. Yet Arkha or Yata Kha. So Kha means Brahma, Arkha means Surya. As we all know, Brahma has fled because he was infatuated by his own daughter. And Shiva was infuriated and he beheaded one head of the Brahma. So how Brahma was running to save himself from Shiva. Not only that, there is another pastime of demon Vidyunna Malli. So he got a golden chariot from Shiva because the golden chariot was equal in effulgence to the Surya. So when he was going around, when there was shadow area, the entire shadow became effulgent. There is no night. Both sides were like sunshine. Surya got angry and he destroyed the chariot pieces. And Shiva got angry and he started chasing Arka. Then he fled away and last fell down at Kasi or Varanasi, and that is place called Lol Arka. So we can see he is giving a comparison how Brahma or Surya ran from Shiva, just like that Ashwadhama has ran all over the places away from Arjuna. Then our release of Brahmastra. is mentioned here. When the son of Brahmana Raswadama saw that his horses were tired, he considered that there was no alternative for protection outside of his using the ultimate weapon, the Brahmastra or nuclear weapon. Just like an animal, what does an animal do? When it is threatened, when it is cornered, what does animal do? It tries to retaliate. It tries to retaliate and pounce back on us. Similarly, like an animal, he was cornered. He thought he was cornered. So because of that fear, there is no alternative. He thought there is no alternative. And he released the Brahmastra. So it's the ultimate issue only. When there is no alternative, the nuclear weapon called Brahmastra is employed. That's why Vicha means a Brahmana. A Brahmana should be intelligent. Intelligent, but without any using intelligence to save himself, he released Brahmastra. He did not know the consequence of Brahmastra. What does a Brahmastra do? Just like our nuclear weapons, all our politicians have the nuclear weapons. With one press of button, the nuclear weapon can be released. But they do not know what will happen after the release of nuclear weapon. They are not intelligent. People are misguided and missiles are guided. Martin Luther says, we are all misguided, but the missiles are guided. Similarly, Drona, he should have intelligence. Without being intelligent, he is the Brahmana. That's why it's called Dijatama. The son of Dronacharya was not exactly the qualified Brahmana. So being a friend of a Brahmana doesn't mean that one is a Brahmana. Being a son of a Brahmana doesn't make as a Brahmana. Brahmana becomes a qualification, not by birth. Brahmana, Kshatriya, whatever means, by qualification, by activities we perform, not by birth we take. Since Aswadhama's decision is immature, he is purposefully called herein the son of Brahmana. So a Vaishnava is more than a Brahmana. So we are following this Vaishnava culture. We are following devotion. So whatever acts we do should not be immature. It should be mature enough. By the words of the senior devotees, acharyas, and scriptures, our foundation should be based on these things. Otherwise, we'll act immaturely. It's a great responsibility on all of us. Since his life was in danger, he touched the water in sanctity and concentrated upon the chanting of hymns for the throwing nuclear weapons, although he did not know how to withdraw such weapons. Thereupon, a glaring light spread in all directions. It was so fierce that Arjuna thought his own life in danger, and so he began to address the Lord Sri Krishna. So here clearly you can see the contrast between Ashwadhama and Arjuna. So when bad thing comes, so or when distress comes, what does a devotee do and what does a non-devotee do? Clearly you can see Ashwadhama is relying on the strength of his Brahmastra. But Arjuna is not like that. Though he is chivalrous, immediately started depending upon, you can see Arjuna Uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhayankara Swam Eko Yamananam Pavargyo Asi Samsmrite. Arjuna said, oh my Lord Sri Krishna, you are the Almighty Personality of Godhead. There is no limit to your different energies. Therefore, only you are competent to instill fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees. Everyone in the flames of material miseries can find a path of liberation in you only. So Arjuna, is an authority, bona fide representative. So a devotee of the Lord is always fearless because of the protection given by Krishna. Rake Krishna Mare Koi, Mare Krishna Rake Koi. This is our insurance policy. So devotee is fearless and he immediately surrenders to Krishna. Not only that, Arjuna is saying, we are all in the material miseries, flames. Samsara Dava Lalali the Loka. So what? This entire material world is like a forest fire. Only the mercy of Krishna in the form of Gurudev. So we have the ocean on the one side, we are stuck in the flames. The ocean water should come and stop this forest fire. There is no other way. So who will carry that? Who will carry that water? It's the cloud or a helicopter. Somebody should carry that water and come to them. It's a representative of Krishna. Krishna is like an ocean. Gurudev is a representative of Krishna, bringing that water and showering on these missionaries. The spiritual matter, by his words, can penetrate into the heart of the suffering person and inject knowledge, transcendental, which alone can extinguish the fire of materialism. So here also we can understand how to choose our spiritual master. Who is our guru? There are so many. It's a multi-guru organization. Whom should be chosen as a guru? A guru should who can penetrate us. His Grace Amarendra Prabhu says, the guru who can invoke Krishna consciousness within us, that person should be taken shelter. That is our test for real guru. That is how we surrender to a guru. So, and naturally, our material fire of material existence is extinguished. You are the original personality of Godhead who expands himself all over the creations and is transcendental to the material energy. He had cast away the effects of the material energy by dint of your spiritual potency. You are always situated in internal base and transcendental knowledge. Krishna is like the sun and Maya is like the shadow. Maya is a shadow of Krishna. So wherever the sun is there, shadow, there is no darkness. We cannot see the darkness. So when also that Krishna represents the knowledge. Wherever that knowledge is there, our ignorance, darkness of ignorance is removed. The one who surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Lord can get released from the clutches of ignorance. The best means to come out. So we have to surrender to Krishna. This is only me. Original personality of God is mentioned over here. Means every expansion is an expansion of Krishna. Even Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna. Here we see in the 9 slokas the transcendence of Lord Krishna, the transcendence and the nature of his incarnation. And yet, though you are beyond the purview of the material energy, you execute the 4 principles of liberation, characterized by religion, and so on, for the ultimate good of the conditioned soul. Okay, here, Krishna descends. Why he is descending? To the manifested world without being influenced by the material modes. So, whenever Krishna comes, he is not bound by the 3 modes. He is Nirguna. People think that Nirguna means there is no formless. No. Nirguna means he is not touched by any 3 modes. He descends out of his causeless mercy only to reclaim. Otherwise, there is no purpose. Krishna has so many people who are serving him. There is no point for him to come to save us. We are nowhere. But why he is coming? Because he loves us. Because he shows our mercy on us. That's why he comes and wants to take us back to Godhead. In essence, the living entity is unable to enjoy. We are all trying to enjoy this material world, but we are not able to that. We are getting unhappiness as well. We are trying to Lord Krishna, but it's not possible. Yeah, that's right. Living entity is unable to enjoy. God descends to eradicate this false sense of enjoyment. The purpose which Krishna is coming is to remove this false sense of enjoyment. Because we are eternally the servants of Krishna. Jivera Sarupai, Krishna Nityadas. Thus, you descend as an incarnation to remove the burden of the world and to benefit your friends, especially those who are your exclusive devotees and are constantly wrapped in the meditation upon you. So, Krishna, we think that Krishna is partial to the devotees. He is partial. He is not. He doesn't look about the non-devotees. No, he is a father of both devotees and non-devotees. Each and every soul by nature is a devotee of Krishna. The only difference is one knows it, the other doesn't know it. Other is in ignorance, one is in the knowledge. Otherwise, Krishna is the same for both. He is beyond the 3 modes. So that material relationships doesn't affect him. We cannot see the relationship as a material thing. Lord is above the modes in material nature, and thus there is nothing mundane about his kinship and relationship in the devotional service. So actually, he is both partial and impartial. Those who are favorable to him, he showers mercy upon him. Those who don't surrender to him, he shows mercy in another way. O Lord of the Lords, how is it that this dangerous effulgence is spreading all around? Where does it come from? I don't understand it. Anything that is presented before the personality of Godhead should be done after due presentation. We see how Arjuna is glorifying it. Before we present anything to Krishna, whether it is Bhoga, whether whatever you are offering to Krishna, we have to glorify the Parampara, glorify Krishna. This is a process. Whenever a senior devotee comes, we have to glorify first, and then we put our problem before them. This is a standard procedure. Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Know from me that this is the act of the son of Drona. He has thrown the hints of the nuclear energy of Brahmastra, and he does not know how to retract the glare. He has helplessly done this, being afraid of Brahma's death." So, because he is ignorant, he doesn't know how to retract it, he left this. Oh Arjuna, only another Brahmastra can counteract this weapon. Since you are an expert in the military science, subdue his weapons glare with the power of your weapon. So only if the Krishna gives that, put your Brahmastra and retract it. This is subtle science. Our material science, our material nuclear energy doesn't understand this. Please, Sutta Goswami said, hearing this from the personality of Godhead, Arjuna touched water for purification, and after circumventing Lord Sri Krishna, he cast his Brahmastra weapon to counteract this one. So ultimately, it was counteracted. So how did it counteract? If you simply look at the material point of view, material things cannot counteract. Because Krishna has decided that Arjuna's Brahmastra will counteract this Brahmastra. Because it's the desire of Krishna. Because based on the desire, the two Brahmastras was repaired. When the rays of the two Brahmastras combined, a great circle of fire, like the disk of the sun, covered all outer space, the whole firmament of planets. On the left side, you can see the picture of Hiroshima Nagasaki atomic bomb. See the height of the flames. The entire it passed the clouds of our Earth. An ordinary nuclear atomic bomb which has this much energy, how much this two Brahmastras has produced. Radiation of atomic energy is very insignificant in comparison to the heat produced by Brahmastra. Heat was so produced that the entire 14 planetary systems were affected. The 14 planetary systems were disturbed by that. Now, think about how insignificant our material achievements are. All the population of the three worlds was scorched by the combined heat of the weapons. Everyone was reminded of the Samvartaka fire which takes place at the time of annihilation. So here clearly it is understood. Each and every place there are some kind of living entity. Sun has living entity, moon has a living entity, Earth has all the things. The less intelligent people think that there is no living entities. Only humans are there in this material world. There are so many living entities in this material world and the spiritual world. Thus, seeing the disturbance of the great populace and the imminent destruction of the planets, Arjuna at once retracted both Brahmastra weapons as the Lord Sri Krishna desired. Because it's the desire of Lord Sri Krishna, both Brahmastras got retracted. The theory that modern atomic bombs explosions can annihilate the world is a childish imagination. So, by way of putting atomic bombs, will the Earth get destroyed? No, it doesn't get destroyed. It gets affected but not destroyed. It is only the will of Krishna that anything happens. Maya Dakshena Prakriti Susayate Chacharacha. This material world is under the guidance of, under the direction of the Supreme Lord. is only the Krishna's interest. So if we think that we can destroy, we cannot do it. If we think we can build a material world, no, only Krishna can do it. The world can be destroyed only by the will of the Lord and not by the means of the tiny planets. So everything is happening by the grace of. So next is Ashwadama was arrested. Arjuna, his eyes blazing in anger like two red copper balls of copper, dexterously arrested the son of Gautami and bound him with ropes like an animal. So here the significant point in this sloka is that Ashwadama was caught and bound with ropes like an animal because he behaved like an animal. After binding Ashwadama, Arjuna wanted to take him to the military camp. The personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, looking on with his lotus eyes, spoke to Arjuna in an angry mood. Here, both of them are angry. Krishna and Arjuna were angry. But the difference is, Arjuna's eyes were like red copper balls, but Krishna's eyes were like lotuses. So it is clear that his anger, Krishna's anger is not on the same level of anger of all of us. We are angry because of three modes, but Krishna is not angry because of three modes. His anger is also a mercy for people. Anger, smile, everything is a mercy of Krishna. Lord Sri Krishna said, "O Arjuna, you should not show mercy by releasing the relative of the Brahmana or Brahmana Bandhu, for he was killed innocent boys in the sleep." So, being by taking birth in the family of Brahmana doesn't make us a Brahmana. Like just like an example of Supreme Court judge. The son of Supreme Court judge cannot become a Supreme Court judge. Similarly, a person born in a low class family, if he acts like a Brahmana, he should be considered like a Brahmana. The Brahmana is acting like a Shudra, he should not be treated as Brahmana. That's what Krishna is explaining. A person who knows the principles of religion does not kill an enemy who is careless, intoxicated, insane, asleep, afraid, or devoid of his chariot, nor does he kill a boy, woman, foolish creature, or surrendered soul. Here, etiquettes of fighting was given by Krishna. He's explained to Arjuna that on these grounds you can arrest him. The violence carried out on religious principle is far superior than non-violence. We talk about non-violence. But fighting for a good cause, fighting for dharma, is actually non-violence. Though it looks like a violence, but it is based on a superior principles. Then that is also equal to non-violence. A cruel and wretched person who maintains his existence at the cost of others' lives deserves to be killed for his own well-being. Otherwise, he will go down by his own actions. So a life for a life is just for a punishment. Life for a life it should be like a punishment. Earlier, people who commits murder were hanged to death by the kings. So kings were actually knowledgeable of the shastras. So a person who has murdered for the benefit of the soul, they hang it. So to reduce the punishment after the soul departs, kings used to hang it. That was the motive of giving death penalty. Not in the sense because you killed me, I kill you. Not based on the sense gratification or a thing, based on the shastras. It is said in Siddhi Shastra that men who are punished by the king of a principle of a life for life are purified of all their sins. So much so that they may be eligible to be promoted to heaven. The death penalty promotes a soul to heaven. Similarly, even the killer of the animal, should be considered as a murderer. He who gives permission, he who kills the animal, he who sells the slaughtered animal, he who cooks the animal, he who administers the distribution of the foodstuff, and at last he who eats such cooked animal food are all murderers and are all liable to be punished by the laws of nature. So those who are eating the non-veg, all the things, they are doing murder. So how can we purify them? By giving Bhagavatam. Lord Krishna orders the killing of Ashwadhama. Furthermore, I have personally heard you promised Draupadi that you would bring forth the head of the killer of her sons. This man is an assassin and murderer of your own family members. Not only that, but he is also dissatisfied his master. He is but the burnt remnants of his family. Kill him immediately. In the Shastra, he who attacks without notice or kills from behind or sets like aggressor, they should be killed. That's what Krishna is saying. Sutta Goswami said, although Krishna was who was examining Arjuna in religion, encouraged Arjuna to kill the son of Dronacharya, Arjuna, a great soul, did not like the idea of killing him, although Ashwadama was a heinous murderer of Arjuna's family members. So Krishna was testing Arjuna. So Krishna was giving all this information. See what Arjuna is going to decide. Because Arjuna has already heard Bhagavad Gita. So we all are hearing Bhagavad Gita or read Bhagavad Gita, distributing Bhagavad Gita. Krishna will surely test all of us. Sends so many things, contradictory things, and waits for us to respond. He checks how are we responding. Are we following the Sarvadharman Paritijya principle or not? That's what Krishna is doing for Arjuna. Why does Krishna do to his devotees? To glorify his devotees, to show to the world that what is the sense of a duty of a devotee. The devotee doesn't abstain from a duty, but he puts his actions based on the principles of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So Lord Krishna encouraged Arjuna outwardly just to test Arjuna's sense. But Lord Krishna puts to test many of his pure devotees just to magnify the sense of devotee. Like gopis were also put into test. Prahlad Maharaj was also put into test. So all pure devotees come out successful. Here is a great hope for all of us. Though Krishna tests all of us, all the devotees, we come flying because Krishna doesn't want us to fail. After reaching his own camp, although Arjuna, along with his dear friend and charioteer Sri Krishna, entrusted the murderer unto his dear wife, who was lamenting for her murdered sons. So even living being is thus related with the Supreme Lord by some sort of affection. Right? So we are all related to Krishna somewhere or the other, as a servant, as a friend, as a parent, or anything. So everyone thus can enjoy the company of the Lord in the spiritual realm, if he at all desires. Clearly, Prabhupada says, if we have a desire, we can enjoy with Krishna. Only thing we are lacking is the desire to enjoy. We want to enjoy in this material world, not with Krishna. We desire, we can do it. But and the process is Bhakti Yoga. So here the frailties of the woman, how soft the woman is, I will explain here in this focus. See, Sutta Goswami said, Draupadi then saw Aswadhama, who was bound with ropes like an animal and silent for having enacted the most ignominious murder due to her female nature and due to her being naturally good and well behaved. She showed him due respect as a Brahmana. Such a devastated lady who lost her child was thinking on high moral principles. Because Aswadhama is a representative of the Brahmana, he should not be killed. See the presence of mind which Draupadi has. That is the nature of a pure devotee. He could not tolerate Ashwadhama being bound by ropes. And being a devoted lady, she said, release him, for he is a Brahmana, our spiritual master. Because Ashwadhama now is a representative of Drona, who is a spiritual master. In the absence of Drona, son is a representative. So according to the scriptures, a teacher or spiritual master is liable to be rejected if he is unworthy of the position of a guru. Ashwadhama on this principle should be rejected. But on the customs point of view, Ashwadhama should be respected same as his own father. A devotee of the Lord can tolerate all sorts of tribulations personally, but still such devotees are never unkind to others. Devotees, they take the pain to themselves, but they don't complain. It was by Dronacharya's mercy that you learned the military art of throwing arrows and the confidential art of the controlling weapons. Dronacharya is certainly still existing, being represented by his son. His wife Kripi did not undergo a sati with him because he had a son. So actually, a widow is a widow only in the name if there is a son. So after husband departs, if there is a son, that lady cannot be considered a widow. That was the argument that Draupadi was giving against killing of Ashwatthama. Seeing the arguments of Draupadi, even Krishna was surprised. Krishna got surprised by hearing the statements of Draupadi. O most fortunate one, who know the principles of religion, it is not good for you to cause grief to the glorious family members who are always respectful and worshipful. My lord, do not make the wife of Dronacharya cry like me. I am aggrieved for the death of my sons. He need not cry constantly like me. A mother knows the pain of the heart. Clearly explained here. The kingly administrative order, being unrestricted in sense control, offends the Brahmana order and enrages them, then fire of that rage burns up the whole body of the royal family and brings, though being a Brahmana, if we kill Brahmana order, the entire flames. So because Brahmanas are supposed to propagate this knowledge to the Kshatriyas. So the Goswami said, "O Brahmanas, King Yudhishthira fully supported statements of the queen, which were in accordance with the principles of religion and were justified, glorious, full of mercy, equity, and without duplicity." So Dharmaras has given acceptance, means the statements of the Draupadi are dharmic. Nakula and Sahadeva, the younger brothers of the king, and also Satyaki, Arjuna, the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, son of Devaki, and the ladies and others are unanimously agreed with the king. Everyone agreed. Bhima, however, angrily disagreed with them and recommended killing this culprit. So Bhima is the only one who is not agreeing, who had murdered sleeping children. Now, Chaturabhuja, the four-armed one, or the personality of Godhead, after hearing the words of the Bhima, Draupadi and others saw the face of his dear Arjuna and he began to speak in a smile, as if smiling. Here Krishna is addressed Chaturabhuja. Normal Krishna is two-handed form, but here Krishna is four-handed form. Why? Because on one side, he is controlling Bhima, on the other side, he is controlling Arjuna and other Pandavas. So Arjuna saw the smiling face of Krishna. Then immediately Arjuna got the entire knowledge by the simple glance of Krishna. Krishna solves the entire dilemma. The personality of Godhead Sri Krishna said, "A friend of Brahmana is not to be killed, but if he is an aggressor, he must be killed." All these rulings are in scriptures and you should act accordingly. You have to fulfill your promise to your wife. You must also act to the satisfaction of Bhimasena and me. So Krishna is one side, and one side is saying you have to kill, because according to the Shastra, he should be killed because you have vowed to your wife Draupadi, and Bhimasena is not agreeing, he should be killed. For all this sake, and personally for me, Krishna is for me, you should kill him. This dilemma was present before Arjuna, and the solution was avoided. Next, he gives a solution. Sutta Goswami says, just then Arjuna could understand the motive of the Lord by his equivocal words. The Krishna's equivocal words were understood by Arjuna, and thus with his word, he severed the both hair and gel from the head of Ashwatthama. He took the most valuable possession, the hair. So he cut half hair of Ashwatthama and he removed the jewel which protects Ashwatthama from the lower living entities. So if one who is respected, if he is disrespected, it is worse than the death. It's equal to death. So this was as good as cutting off his head, and yet his life was saved in a practical way. So he was killed and at the same time was not killed. So because he was made disrespected. He or Ashwatthama has already lost his bodily luster due to the infanticide. And now, moreover, having lost the jewel from his head, he lost even more strength. Thus, he was unbound, and driven out of the camp. Like an animal, he was thrown out. Cutting the hair from his head depriving him of his wealth, and driving him from his residence are the prescribed punishment for the relative of a Brahmana. There is no injection of kill in the body. So no need to kill. You can disrespect, provided it is for पुत्र शोकातुर सर्वे पांडवा सह कृष्णाय स्वानां वृत्तानां यत्कृत्यां चक्रुर्निहन्तात्मिकम्. Thereafter, the sons of Pandu and Draupadi, overwhelmed with grief, performed the proper rituals for the dead bodies of their relatives. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purpose of the first canto of 7th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Son of Drona. This is what the bad association is. We are all suffering in this material world. The symptoms we have seen. The remedy is the surrender to Krishna. Begins with the association of the saintly persons. Read Srimad Bhagavatam daily. Chant this rounds regularly. This is what Krishna and Srila Prabhupada in this purpose mentions. Hare Krishna. At this point, I would like to open this forum for your realizations, suggestions, and
Haribol Santosh Prabhu. Wonderful session, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Okay. I don't know whether I conveyed that. It's a big session. I can't be 58 slokas compressed into 1.5 hours. I don't think I have given the proper justice.
No, but you have highlighted all key important points and all that, Prabhu. The slides maybe like we'll be uploading, Prabhu. I was away from 1 week, Prabhu. So we'll create a folder, okay, as Praveen Prabhu suggested. Okay, we'll start uploading today and tomorrow. Okay. I have only one question, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. It's wonderful session. Really, it's wonderful session, Prabhu. Thank you very much. See, the Krishna at one place you mentioned that the Krishna is a partial to the devotees. Okay, so he's partial to the devotees in what aspect, Prabhu? So he's showing himself, he's uncovering himself. He's like a partial to the towards the devotee, right?
He is favorable.
You want to throw any other angle, Prabhu? I want to understand more on that. Yeah.
So Prabhupada gives an example. Suppose we have 2 or 3 children, and one child respects you, and other child doesn't respect you. So naturally, as a father, we are equal to both. We give equal education, equal everything to both. But we give more responsibility to one who is devoted. So partiality in the sense that he gives more responsibility to his devotees. But the non-devotees, he shows his mercy in another way. He gives it to Maya Devi so that he can come back. Otherwise, what did the animal do? Get the human body. Did animal do anything? Did animal did stotras, abhishekams, etc.? Nothing. He didn't went to the temple. But he showered his mercy and we got a human body. This is, it looks like an impartiality, but actually he's not partial. But he gives more responsibility to his devotees.
Okay. Okay. So in that way, we need to understand that he is partial. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Understood, bro. Yeah.
This is one lesson, one understanding of mine. I have heard here somewhere. Maybe there are so many things. Hare Krishna. Any other doubts?
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Santosh Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Praveen Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, actually, I heard in one lecture that when Krishna was invoking Arjuna to kill this Ashwatthama, right?
Yes.
So in that they said Krishna was taking the test of Arjuna.
Yes.
Prabhu, when Krishna is asking to do this one, how we can say no? So that's I have doubt, because in one lecture I heard that one when Krishna asked Yudhishthir to say that that Ashwatthama is killed, right? So he did say no, I cannot say this one. Then we saw that one, because of that his this chariot went down for 2 or 3 feet.
Yes.
But in one lecture it said it went because of he didn't follow Krishna. So that's why even I asked that question in that lecture also, but they couldn't give me the proper answer. Okay. So if when Krishna says, how we can say no? Even Krishna is taking tests, we should go blindly, right? So
Actually, Krishna doesn't want to follow us blindly. Doesn't want us to follow blindly. That's why he has given Sadhu, Shastra, Guru.
no,
So these
Prabhuji,
are
that's fine. But my question
yes.
that when Krishna Swayam is saying that one, but see, Bhagavad Gita came from where? Krishna
Yes.
only, right?
Yeah. But he, as you know, Krishna uses his devotees to say something. He doesn't use non-devotee. He uses Arjuna to reveal Bhagavad Gita. He uses Parikshit Maharaj to reveal Bhagavatam. He uses Dharmaraj to say certain things. It looks like as if you don't follow Krishna. If you don't follow Krishna, what is going to happen? Actually, did it touch? No, it has come down, that's all. It has come down. So it shows that if you have to follow the words of Krishna. If you don't follow Krishna's words, then you are going to face the consequence.
Yes, Prabhuji, that's
And the
what I was saying.
heart of Krishna, actually, externally,
When Krishna Swayam saying, then how we can
actually
doubt on that?
actually Krishna is very tricky, Prabhu. Like his like how he stands is the tricky form. The Krishna word is also tricky. Like his actions also tricky. Only the pure devotee can understand.
Correct, Prabhuji. Yes, you are right.
Only pure devotee can understand what is Krishna. That's why Dharmaraj was acting as if he is not listening to him. Like Bhishma is also know what is Krishna's intention behind. So there is a lot of things we have to hear. Only pure devotee understands this.
Correct.
The actual intention, even
this
I may
question,
not,
that is very difficult to answer. Even
because
non-devotee
I am
ask.
not a devotee myself. I may not be able to answer you complete 100%.
No, Prabhuji, that's fine, Prabhuji. Yeah, we understood that one, Prabhuji. That your answer is perfect. That is the answer only, but it is very difficult to non-devotee to understand. If they ask this type of question, then we don't have any answer.
Yes.
Then we also, okay, you read this one more, then you will understand this one. But
Only
they are not satisfied. They are not satisfied with that one, what we are telling to them.
Sometimes rejecting Krishna's word superficially is also a service to him.
But so we cannot understand, Prabhuji, that one. That is the
higher we should not imitate the pure devotees. We should follow them.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
For ourselves, we have to follow what Krishna says.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Shantas Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmikant Prabhu.
Thank you so much. I have the same doubt that 25, Sloka 25. So now little clarification I got.
What was that? Are you clarified?
The same with the devotee and non-devotee. Thank you so much. Such a wonderful session, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
All
because of all of your association.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I think
so you have covered from purports only, Prabhuji. This is all the additional points.
Only I have followed only the purpose.
Oh,
I have highlighted entirely purpose.
Okay. You said that you have also covered some. You have heard some lectures and also.
Lectures also 1 or 2 points I may here and there I have added, but 90% is from the purpose of the program.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for wonderful session, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was nice. PPT was also very nice, Prabhuji. And I really like your example that what is the difference between the Ashwadhama and the devotees of the Lord, and you that was wonderful, Prabhuji. Yeah. Very nice session.
So whenever there is a danger, devotee takes the shelter of Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Santosh Prabhu. Thank you very much for a wonderful class again. You prepare so well. and you put forward all your points very nicely, as usual. Thank you very much. And this is a very beautiful chapter, and a lot of instructions for all of us in different situations. You explained very nicely to the points. And as you said, I think everybody should go back and read the purports. Very important. I think Prabhupada has put in a lot of effort and a lot of instructions for all of us. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful lecture today.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for tolerating me. I'm constantly chasing after you. Which chapter should I read? Which chapter? In spite of all these things, you have patiently listened to me. I thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Very much. Any other questions, comments, supporting ideas, Prabhuji's, Mataji's, before we close this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Santosh
Hare Krishna, Ramred Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, wonderful class. I just have one thing, Prabhu. I heard somewhere. I just want to
yes.
hear from you, Prabhu. I think somebody said, Prabhu, what Krishna said we have to follow instructions, Krishna's instructions. And if you just want to implement like what Rama did, actions yes. Of Rama, you have to do it, but Krishna's instructions you have to hear and follow it. Now, is it correct, Prabhu, generally in this scenario, or whatever you mentioned, like Krishna gave Bhagavad Gita, we have to hear Bhagavad Gita and follow according to Bhagavad Gita?
Yes, that's Prabhu. I think I heard one way on one occasion I have heard the same thing. So Rama is Maryada Purushottama. He is strict for himself. So you have to take instructions from Krishna. So Krishna is the supreme proprietor. He is the source of every incarnation. His instructions is the thing, and we have to follow how Rama is strict to ourselves when following the principles. Prabhupada says we have to stick to ourselves, lenient to others, merciful to others. Yes, Prabhu, we have to be strict to ourselves.
Thank you, bro.
Hare Krishna,
Any
Prabhuji.
other questions? Any other questions?
One question, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Prabhuji. Santoshadita, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Now, Vasudev got instructions from Narada Muni, right? And now Vasudev has given this Bhagavatam to Sukdev Goswami, right? So this is the first time, or in the sense, what I'm trying to say, while compiling the Bhagavatam only, he heard from Vyasadeva, Sukdev Goswami, or there was two different times?
Actually, what we are reading now is Bhagavatam, which was recited by Vyasadeva to Sukadeva after its revision. So earlier also, Vyasadeva, when he was segregating all the Puranas, everything, he has written Bhagavata Purana. But there was not so mention about the Krishna activities. Then Narada Muni has given the summary, Chatushloki Bhagavatam, then he revised based on that. The same Bhagavatam he has revised so that Krishna's and Krishna devotees are glorified. That revision version is what Sukadeva Goswami is heard about. And not only that, this is not the only Bhagavatam. This is the Bhagavatam for us. There are so many places where Bhagavatam was spoken. Just like earlier we did detail to detail, verse by verse, verses. So each person has done PPTs based on one verse, entire description. Now we are doing a summary. So similarly, Vyasadeva was so intelligent that summary is sufficient for him. Then for all of us, we less intelligent people like us, he has given the entire description out of many things. So, and Bhagavatam is unlimited. But this what we are hearing is Sukadev. We are hearing from Suta Maharshi actually.
Yeah.
What is heard by Suta Goswami, which Parikshit and Sukadeva was discussing. So
Yeah.
out of many things, which is sufficient for all of us.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So can we wrap up now? There are no questions. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I'm just waiting for a minute, but yes, looks like we can wrap up. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Vancha
Kalpataruvyasya kripasindhubhyo-cha patitanam pavanebhyo
Vaishnavibhyo namo. Antakoti Vaishnavriddhi ki
Vaishnavriddhi
Srila
ki jai,
Prabhupada
Prabhupada ki jai,
Srimad
Srimad
Bhagavatam
Bhagavatam ki jai.
Hare Krishna.